Hello and welcome. You're watching ET Markets. I'm Tanya Aneja and it's International Yoga Day today. Well, we all know that the pandemic has brought to the fore the importance of strengthening our immune systems. Well, yoga has been proven to boost immunity. Yoga is a light which once lit will never dim. The better you practice, the brighter the flame. Also, if you are an investor or a trader, you need to have a calm mind to deal with such volatile markets at this point in time. Well, on this special occasion, I'm going to be joined by a very special guest. He has over 3 decades of experience in the BFSI world and has been investing in markets for over 2 decades. He's also a former MD and CEO of Axis Securities and now is an independent market expert. And that's not all. He's also an author of a bestseller book, Yogi on Dalal Street. Well, we have with us none other than Mr. Arun Thukral. Thank you so much, Mr. Thukral, for joining us on ET Markets.
Thank you for having me, Tanya. And thank you for your kind words. Yeah.
Mr. Thukral, Indian market is seeing a volatile year, and the first 5 months have been nothing short of a roller coaster ride for investors. So, how should one keep calm when there's so much happening around? I mean, keeping the focus and not panicking comes naturally to all the yoga practitioners, but still, how are you approaching markets at this point in time, and what would be your advice for all the investors?
So I think, Tanya, this is a right question on the right day. Because as you said, this being a roller coaster ride, and you need a calm mind, otherwise you will be doing all kind of mistakes. So I think if I attempt a yogic answer, I would say that we all have heard that ups and downs are part of life. And in the market context, we say if there are no bear market, then what is the use of bull markets? The money invested now will yield the maximum results. Now, last 5 months, yeah, there are reasons. So there are experts who would say, why falling? So somebody will say, obviously, we have come out the 100-year pandemic, then Russia, Ukraine for 60, 70 years, there was no war. And now there is no inflation for last 40 years, the kind of inflation. So there are reasons. So there will always be some reasons. And the other set of experts will always ask, like, how much more? Because every day it falls, every day it falls. So everybody will take a guess. So there are two kind of investor, first of all. First, who would ask everyone. So even if they are buying, selling, but every day they will ask everyone. So that is not the right kind of people. And the other kind of investor who will not ask anyone. That is also not right kind of. So yoga always talk about the balance. That means you should not be on either side. That means you are not asking anyone or you are asking everyone. So maybe you have to find the wise people, you have to find the expert, you have to find the right experts, because the way you find a good doctor, the same way you will find a right expert. This is not in your control, the way market is falling. The question should be how you are going to ride this, what you are going to do, what is your reaction to this. So there is every day, if you have heard Buffett and Benjamin Graham, so they say market will come every day. So what would be your response to the market? I think that is in your control, and that is what is your behavior, and that is what I have written in my book. That is the investor behavior becomes the most important thing. So that's why they say the psychology is more important than finance. If somebody has a degree in finance and other one has a degree in psychology, maybe the second guy may do better. So I think this is how one has to navigate, one has to get into this, and mostly you should be unapologetic about creating wealth also, because some people will say kya sara din aap market ka baat karte hain, because obviously the equities have beaten inflation over the last 4 decades. So be unapologetic about markets and then maybe get into different companies, get into different sectors, and all those things you can do. But first, balance your mind. I think that is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Well said, Mr. Thukral. And also, it's very easy to make mistakes in this current volatile scenario. So what, according to you, are the top mistakes that investors should avoid, especially at this point in time? I mean, to protect portfolios?
So now let me give one yogic example. So what we have in yoga Patanjali is there are sutras about biases, and in yoga we call this vrittis. So if you read a behavior finance book, they will talk about this anchor bias, recency bias, prospect theory. But in yoga also we have similar thing, and this is available to us for the last 2,500 years ago. So what we talk about the vrittis, again, first vritti they say pramana. That means it is in front of your own eyes. You have seen a company. So when you go to market and you do a lot of research, but you can't read a annual report, which is a praman, which says that the company is not doing well. Are you looking at this? And then there are a lot of myths, and there are a lot of contradictory statements. So somebody will say, buy when there is blood on the street. The other one will say, no, if it is my blood, then why should I buy, or whether I can buy. Then there are people who will say, okay, buy large cap, buy small cap, buy mid cap. Somebody will diversify. Somebody will say, no, there is no point of diversifying. Have a concentrated portfolio. So you will be getting confused if you are listening to everyone. That's what I said. Because sometimes there are experts who don't know, and there are other experts who don't know that they don't know. You got it?
Absolutely.
So be very clear about the vritti, the biases, the recency bias, what we call the smriti, the memory which had. So we last 5 months we have seen market is falling, so it's falling. We all know it's falling, but we are forgetting that after every fall there was a recovery.
Absolutely.
As early as 2020 we went down, we have come up. Before that 2013, before that 2008, before that 2000, before that 92. Every time we have fallen, and every time we have bounced back. So the mistake people will do, that they will obviously start selling in panic. So don't sell. Because when you know the history is with you, when you know the India trajectory, the economy is doing better, so it has to go up only. So keep your calm, and obviously we always say that keep doing the SIP. In yoga also they said that Satu Dirghakale Nirantara. That means if you are doing something for Dirghakale, that means longer period, and Nirantara, continuous. So I think that is the answer to your question. Yeah, you listen to everybody, you talk about everything. So somebody will say market has fallen, but the banks are doing better.
Right.
Because there is no NPA now. So interest rate hike will benefit them because they can pass on the credit cost. The other one will say no interest rate cost. So you will have the contradictory views, but you should keep going, put in the right sector, otherwise do an SIP. I think be aware of everything. But at the same time, if you have the retail investor, if he has money, he should invest. He should not try too much to time the market. Maybe the technical expert will do. Maybe the fundamental will take a call. But a retail investor, if he has money, he should continuously keep on deploying some money on a staggered basis.
Absolutely. Well said, and so much to learn from you. So, also, Mr. Thukral, hypertension is also a common issue among most stock traders. So, what kind of a mindset one should have in this sort of a market? I mean, you talked about the Ekagrachit mind earlier as well. So, it would be great if you could share it again with our viewers, and also the ways to get such kind of mindset.
So again, the good question at the right time, because you have to have that kind of mind today. So there are different kind of minds. So we said that the first three minds, which is mood shift and vikshift, which is, it can be a tamasic mind, somebody who's investing on tape, somebody who's not looking at his wealth, some plot lying where somewhere, some investment he bought is never bothered, something he has never sold. So this is the mood chit. Basically, they are not looking, or maybe buying some lottery. Then there are vikshipt, which is primarily many of our investors are, that is mostly wavering, but sometimes steady. Maybe one Sunday you will sit down and say, okay, let me look at my portfolio, I will do this, that and all. And next day when you go to office, you forget everything. Sometimes steady, mostly wavering. I think most of us will qualify there, the most of the retail investor. Beyond that is Ekagrachit. That means you are focused. So once you are focused, then obviously you should get into the real vidya. That means if everyone is saying FI have sold, let's say they are selling last one and a half year, 25 billion they have sold. But how much they have invested? They have 600 billion. So they have sold 4-5%. And why they are selling? Because globally everywhere they have to sell, and India they are getting better exit because of retail investor putting a lot of money in India. Na? So that's why they are selling here, but one day it will stop. So that is the second layer of Vidya. If you are Ekagrachit, you will reach there. Even any sector, let's say FMCGs are increases prices, but the input prices will come down. Maybe last 1 or 2 days now, we have seen the input prices are slightly coming down, but they will not reduce the price of the final product. So their margin will increase. So this is again the second layer of knowledge. That means you are going to benefit. Similarly, IT services. Right now, because Nasdaq is falling, everything is falling. But at some point of time, we will get the benefit of this rupee which has depreciated. So once you are Ekagrachit, you will start looking beyond the first layer.
Absolutely. So much to learn from you again, Mr. Thukral. But before we let you go, what would be your advice for all the first time and new investors in the market? And also, it would be great if you could share a few of your favorite asanas for physical and mental well-being.
So the answer to your first question is that the new investor, the young investor, again, the word I will use is the balance. You have to balance everything. You can't be excessive. You can't be panicky. You can get into, so youngsters sometimes would want to get into cryptos, but we have seen what is happening to crypto. So maybe you have to do the asset allocation. Maybe you should start with an SIP, as I said again, maybe in ETF, maybe in index, maybe in some good stocks. So the balance is the most important word which they should remember. And related to this is the answer to your second question, the asanas. So the balance, the first asana is Ekpad asana. That means every morning when you get up, those are my favorite asana, because then you are more focused, because you have to stand on one leg, na? That is Ekpad asana. Maybe you can have that Garuda asana, all balance asana. Then there is a mountain pose. Yeah. Which is called Parvata asana. Okay. Again, that gives you a lot of strength. This kind of markets, you need that. You are more focused. And then maybe you should take some kind of a Vairagya, because you have invested in good companies. Even if you are sitting today, the Pidilite is selling the Fevicol cans, the Asian Paint is selling, the Britannia is selling biscuit. They are not bothered about Russia, Ukraine, and they are there, and you are eating that biscuit every day. You are buying the same biscuits. So these companies are doing. So you have invested, so have that kind of a focus and take a Vairagya Bhava. That is again a yogic term. And then sometime if you are clever enough, learn more about Sarvangasana or Shishasana, which is very difficult. Maybe have the contrarian approach. Again, I am linking with the markets also. So these are some of the asana, and obviously the pranayams. You have to do the Anulom Vilom and simple pranayams. I think these are some of the things. And at some point of time, the people who have got lot of money. Let me end with the yogic anecdote that yes, money is important, but value your time also, because I have seen rich people also feel pressure to make more money, and then suddenly they realize that they have reached at an age where they have a lot of health problem also. That's why yoga comes into picture. That is why our parents used to tell that early to bed, early to rise, make you healthy, wealthy and wise. So healthy comes before wealthy. So I think have a balance with your health and wealth, and health should be on priority. I think that is the message on the yoga day.
I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, health is more important than wealth, I would say. And on that wonderful note, let's join hands with yoga to disconnect from stress, diseases, and dull life. Thank you so much, Mr. Thukral, once again for being with us on this special occasion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanya. It was nice to have interaction with you, and happy yoga to all viewers.